Panharmonicon presents a podcast.
Gonna finish the job? All goldies but goldies. Rocket launcher. Arrow launcher. With explosion of poisonous gas head. Very practical. Our famous net launcher. The always efficient flamethrower. My favorite.
Fifth element.
We are okay.
I was just trying to think of how to.
I just want that to get a beginner because there was somebody to just be listening and they're like, "Are they going to say anything?"
I was just trying to think of like, oh, what if we do another countdown? Or like another countdown? What's gonna happen?
I don't know. Last
How
time
do
I
we
gave a
follow
countdown, we started
Yeah.
into a barbershop triplet.
Barbershop triplet, yeah. Boom, boom. I wish I, was talented. Well, folks.
Brutal.
That was weird because I
would
mean, you
say you
play
are
drums and you can draw and you body build.
Stand-up comedy.
I'm gonna do stand up comedy, but no, I'm not talented.
I wish I could do like stuff like that, dude. Like you could just go outside, and I wish I could I don't know, look good in barbershop quartet stuff. I don't know if I've never.
I wish
put it
I
on
was
that.
Have
like
you
the
seen
pole.
barbershop quartets?
Don't they look like the barbershop spinny thing, like the with the white red and
I think
I
it's
mean, they
just,
wear like red vests and
Yeah,
white
like
shirts
jackets.
and have like
Yeah,
little
little-
stovetop pipe hats and stuff.
yeah, they make it.
Man, you can buy those things.
Think about Amazon.
You don't just like evolve into like a barbershop quartet member like a Pokemon.
They'll come out the womb
Ba-boom,
with the
ba-boom.
vest on.
You get your high school diploma as soon as you step off stage. Yeah.
Manifest your powers.
Nah, well, we appreciate you listening to the weirdness, folks. Welcome back to another episode of
Panharmonicon Studios presents.
A podcast.
I'm one of your hosts, Farron.
I am Damon.
I am Andrew.
There we go.
Say it with my
I don't like
chest.
that last one.
And welcome to, I guess, what would be episode 26.
Episode 26.
What if it turns
indeed.
out that we were just wrong in the counting?
Oh well.
Be embarrassing.
Oh boy, yeah.
That ain't embarrassing.
I'll
It's
correct you in
whatever.
the comments or something.
We're around that number.
Yeah.
I like that confidence.
Yes.
Well, who cares?
There's a lot of movies to cover.
That's true.
And speaking of which, that is what we're here for. So if you are new to the podcast, we love to talk about movies. We've talked about an array of films. Anywhere, I think at this point, is there a genre that we haven't covered? Maybe romantic comedies?
Yeah, I
I
don't
haven't
think we've
touched
done
around
that.
town.
Yeah. So if you have any
Silent
suggestions,
movies.
feel free to do that.
Documentary.
You said silent boobies.
I mean, we haven't done that either.
Yep.
I don't know
we
if anyone
could.
has. But yeah, if you are new to the channel and you are liking what you hear, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. It does wonders for the podcast, so we very much appreciate it. And also, just in general, we do appreciate any time that you're able to give to us. Also, very importantly, make sure to turn on all notifications. You might already know that we do release on a weekly schedule, YouTube on Monday, Spotify on Tuesday, but there is other content, as they mentioned in previous episode, content that would not be available on Spotify. They're on YouTube, so be sure to follow us on our social media accounts and be prepared for a whole slew of good stuff to come here.
Most definitely. And before we get into today's episode, how you guys feeling?
Ooh. My sister asked me to bake some cookies. And
Cookie time.
I am excited for these cookies. Is the Rice Krispie treat once more is the Rice Krispie treat cook.
Those are good.
So, to each their own. I love those cookies, but I went back to the website that I originally got that recipe from, and I noticed that there was this person who gave it like a 2-star. Like
Whoa.
virtually all other like ratings were like 5 stars. And she was like, it just seems like a glorified sugar cookie. And it just upset me. I'm like, then you made them wrong. That has to be it, right? Like,
Yeah.
Can you comment
didn't
on
do
the
what you were supposed to.
reviews?
Huh?
Can you comment on reviews?
I didn't try. I can see that the person who runs the site can, but I didn't try. But I was thinking about it, dude. I was like, but let me just calm down.
Have you thought about doing like chocolate Rice Krispie?
Dude, I was just thinking about that last night. But see, I didn't know. Like, should it still be a sugar cookie base with chocolate Rice Krispies, or do you make it into a chocolate cookie base with chocolate Rice Krispies, like Cocoa Krispies?
I was thinking like Cocoa Krispie. Well, no, I guess. So there are Cocoa Krispies and chocolate Rice Krispies, right?
I thought Cocoa Krispies are the chocolate Rice Krispies.
Yeah,
because there's Cocoa Pebbles, but those aren't Rice Krispies.
Okay, because I'm not a big chocolate cereal eater. So, did the Cocoa Krispie mascot used to be a monkey, right? Named Coco. Is it now Snap Crackle and Pop?
I thought it was always Snap Crackle and Pop.
No, it used to be a monkey, and he had like a little like blue striped shirt. His name was Coco.
Was it another cereal?
No, Cocoa Krispies.
It was Kellogg's
Cocoa Krispies.
Yeah. Was a monkey.
Yeah.
I gotta Google this. This is crazy.
That's because I feel like there's a lot of people who do that same cereal type, right? Just like Rice Krispies, like chocolate, right? Like Andrew was saying, there's Cocoa Pebbles, there's your generic store brand, there's
Cocoa Dino Bites.
Cocoa Dino Bites.
That's I think it's.
Are they dinosaur shaped, or are they just little
No,
airy
they're just
rice crispy pieces?
That'd be crazy.
What does that have to do with dinosaurs?
It's just like the.
Oh my! I like that hat.
Wow.
Is he wearing one of those propeller hats?
No, it's a regular hat. It just has C on it.
When was?
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
I don't know, maybe I'm showing my age.
No, I mean,
maybe I've gotten
what
old.
did happen to him?
What happened to him?
What happened?
What happened to Coco?
I mean, what happened to remember there used to be the 3 chefs that did Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
There were chefs that did Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Yeah.
Those were the original mascots.
I don't know if they were the original, but like in the 80s and 90s, it was 3 chefs. And then it became like that, I guess, Cinnamon Toast Crunch himself.
It just seems weird to kind of for it to be 3 chefs. It's not like...
It's the UK. He's a European monkey. Well, I guess this is the AI overview.
That's weird because I remember him in...
I mean, he could just be off in Europe now. That could be where he is.
Or like in Cookie Crisp, how it used to be the
wolf.
It used to be the robber with the dog, and they used to get chased by the cop.
Yeah.
And then it became just the dog, and then the dog transformed
wolf.
into a wolf.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't know that.
Cookie Crisp? You did?
No, well, I the last thing I remember was the first one that you brought up, where it was a dog, a robber, and like getting. That's what I remember. I didn't remember any evolution. Like, so he's in jail now. I'm assuming.
I guess he's in jail. I don't know. Him and the cop disappeared, and it was just the robber dog with the band, like the eye masks.
Yeah.
And then he became a wolf. And the whole thing about like stealing the Cookie Crisp just went away. And he just became like a cool wolf guy who says Cookie Crisp.
All right, sit down.
Yeah, this is what. So, I mean, this is Wikipedia. But so Cocoa Krispies started, so it was represented by a monkey named Jose. Then he was replaced by Coco the elephant. And
I saw
then,
the Coco the elephant one.
Yeah, then Tuss the elephant became the mascot until 1982 when Snap, Crackle, and Pop replaced and retired Tusk the elephant. In 1991, the mascot became Coco the monkey. And in 2001, Snap, Crackle, and Pop returned.
Or where did they go?
So that makes sense because I never associated Cocoa Krispies with Rice Krispies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why in my head they were. I guess in my head they were different because Snap, Crackle, and Pop wasn't in both of them.
Yeah.
But then when they like went back to like uniform packaging, it was like, well, Snap, Crackle, and Pop also do Cocoa Krispies. I was like, oh, Cocoa Krispies is just chocolate Rice Krispies. That makes a lot more sense now.
It's Choco Pops or Cocoa Pops and Choco Pops. Maybe also have Coco the monkey still.
I think Cocoa Pops does. Maybe that's why, because it's a different Cocoa. I think.
2009, the UK went to a dancing milkman and astronauts. Moved away from Coco and his friends.
The fact that they had to make sure that you knew that it's a dancing milkman. You couldn't just say milkman.
I also hope he's a cartoon because like King Vitamin used to have like a real life man dressed as a wizard as the mascot on boxes. Like, what kid wants people on their box? They want flashy cartoon characters, not a man dressed up as
rabbits.
like a wizard. Like,
Isn't that the
get
Cookie
this outta
Wizard?
here.
Was I tuned out? Wasn't there a Cookie Wizard, or am I thinking of something?
Like a cereal cookie wizard?
Yeah, I think so. Didn't
Or
he have
just
like a wand that was a cookie on it?
Oh.
What am I thinking?
A wand
Too
has a
many,
cookie on it.
too many
There's
Googles
so
in one
many.
episode.
There's so many mascots that exist.
And while we're going through this, if you guys want to put in the comments, what your favorite cereal is.
Hope it's not King Vitamin.
Oh, it was Cookie Crisp. He was a wizard. Or no, is this just what?
Damn, I just thought about something with Kix. Kid tested, mother approved, but they never
What
said
kids?
that.
Who were the kids that were testing Kix? Kix is trash.
Well,
and there were no kids who were testing it.
But notice though that they said mother approved. They never said anything about the kids approving it.
Oh,
It's kid tested, mother approved.
4 out of 5 dentists approve.
So the people testing it never even gave their thumbs up approval. I think if they asked the kids afterwards, they would have been like, "No, throw this away."
Kix is trash.
Kix is trash.
So trash.
Kix.
And I remember getting tricked by advertising for Berry Kicks. Because it just had this like great song.
Yeah.
It was the Berry Kicks, so very nice. I was like, that was some Berry Kicks.
Yeah.
And I had them. I was like, these
Advertising
are the most trashest. This is trash cereal. Who wants this? Kids do not eat this.
Obviously, you wanted it, but
I did, and then I realized I didn't want it anymore.
yeah, you just like the song.
I love that song, man.
Yeah.
I wish I could find a commercial because I love that song so much. We got off on the craziest tangent
I just
think
have to
we
interject.
ever
Cookie
done.
Crisp Wizard is from Community, so it wasn't even real life.
Oh, yes, the Cookie Crisp Wizard.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Chevy Chase.
Yep.
I remember that now.
But yeah, my sister asked me to add the bake some cookies, and I'm technically still in prep, so it's just hard sometimes.
Sure.
Like I love to bake, but when those things come out the oven, dude, I want to go in. I could legit sit down and eat a dozen of those things.
Easy.
Straight up.
It's like it would be like someone being allergic to like meat grilling,
But then
like wanting to eat the meat but can't eat the meat.
let me smell it. But how about you guys? How are you guys doing?
Me, I've been good. So, I think last time I was talking about playing Shinobi.
Yes.
I've gotten back into Pokemon, like kind of big. I actually did this thing. There's these there are fan games that people make that are just like made up
ROM
Pokemon
hacks?
games. So they're ROM hacks, but they're also fan games.
Oh.
So a ROM hack is taking an established Pokemon game and changing it up. A fan game is a built from scratch game using Pokemon elements.
Whoa.
Now, I've been playing both, and they've been really interesting because some have been like really story based, some have been very battle focused. So like sometimes they're like hard, and Pokemon games really aren't supposed to be hard. They're pretty much a walk in the park. But like these ones, they make them very annoying how hard they can be. There's one I played that I really enjoyed called Pokemon Unbreakable Ties. It's not finished, but it's a game where instead of like getting a starter Pokemon that you just grab out of the thing, you start with like a Riolu who eventually turns into a Lucario, but the story has to dictate when you can do it. And so it's always in your party. You can't really remove it. And then eventually it gets taken from you, like towards the end of like what would be the demo, even though the demo is like almost 60 hours long.
Dang.
And I was like, man, these games are really fun. They're usually what I'm playing while I'm watching these movies, if I can not get super pulled away from them. But that's what I've been doing. Just playing a lot of Pokemon. And also playing actual Pokemon. I've been playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because there have been some shiny Pokemon that they added that you couldn't get before. And there's only one way to get them now, which is to play the game a certain way, which is these raids that you have to do. If 1 million people clear the raid, then the shiny Pokemon is unlocked for everybody to get. So,
Did you do any of those?
I've done 3 of the 4 so far. I need to
Okay.
do the 4th one, which has been going on this week. But I've been playing.
Are we on the fish, or is the
We're
fish?
on the fish. We're on
Okay.
Chiyu, yeah.
So I appreciate all your hard work because I just went in, went mystery gift, gimme, thank you. But I guess Pokemon related for me, I am very deep in the sauce on Pokemon Sleep, which is
Dude, me too.
yes. All right, we gotta This will be a whole separate podcast. Got to get your friend code. But yeah, there's a Legendary Beast event coming up. And so it's the Raikou, Entei, and Suicune are coming back.
I do not know what those are. Those are
That's
Pokemon.
okay.
Those are Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon Sleep?
Pokemon Sleep. It's a sleep tracker, but then it's kind of like maybe like a lifestyle app more. Like you have to feed your Snorlax like 3 square meals. You got to get 8 hours of rest to kind of like progress.
You should get
along.
8 hours of rest.
Yes.
I do not get 8 hours of rest.
I guess I have a plus,
yeah.
so I just circumnavigate the whole system kind of. It's cheating, kind of. It's cheating in a sleep app.
What is plus plus?
It's
what does it mean?
but they're just little Pokeballs, and you can use them for Pokemon Go or with Pokemon Sleep, and they just like do stuff for you. So it tracks your sleep, at least for Pokemon Sleep. You like press it, and then it like records like movement and stuff, and gives you your.
So like the goal of Pokemon Sleep is you have if you're using just your phone like I do, you have to start Pokemon Sleep. Typically, you have to do some other things, which is you have 5 Pokemon in addition to Snorlax. The Snorlax just lays
Hangs
there.
out.
The other Pokemon gather things while you're not in Pokemon Sleep, like ingredients for making food as well as berries, and so you collect all that to give to Snorlax. You feed Snorlax. You hit sleep, and you're supposed to keep it on your bed, like your phone on your bed, and it's going to basically it measures like if you've been moving around, if you're snoring. It just measures your like, and I guess it also can tell what levels of sleep you've been in. So like if you're not in like full REM, it can tell that apparently based off of how you've been breathing. And when you wake up in the morning, you get a little report that tells you how you were, and it doesn't also records sounds, you.
Yeah.
So it picks up recordings.
Oh, wow. I don't.
And based off of that, it gives you a score, and that score goes up. Snorlax power goes up, and the Snorlax power goes up. It basically sets up a situation for more varied Pokemon to show up. So you want that number to be high so that you can catch them all. Like that isn't the catchphrase anymore. No one ever says that, but like around like 10 or so years ago, they stopped using the phrase "catch them all."
Wow.
Gotta catch them all. It's now just Pokemon, but you still want to kind of catch them all, and so you want to be able to raise Snorlax's sleep power, essentially, to gain more access to more Pokemon.
Okay.
And that's the cycle, and it resets every week.
Mm-hmm.
So then you lose all the Pokemon that you gained. And
Oh,
you do
sorry.
that again,
No,
or
just
no,
like
no.
the...
You keep those Pokemon,
Okay.
but the power resets, and you have to build it back up.
Okay.
And so what he was saying was upcoming was the Legendary Beast event, which is where Raikou, Suicune, and Entei will show up if you have how much do you have to actually...
Yeah,
is it
you can be,
random?
Yeah, you have to be, I think, depending on what... It's mostly like master level for them to even start. Like, that's their 1 star.
So you got to be really good about sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I am not. I averaged like 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night.
What?
And
So like, what time do you go to bed? What time do you go to bed? What time do you wake up?
I typically go to bed between like around 2
Dang.
and get up at 7. I don't mean to do it. If I accumulated how much actual sleep between like the hours of 8 and 7 happen, it probably comes closer to 8. But the truth is, I end up falling asleep at sometime about 8, and then I pop back up at 10.
Gotcha.
And then 10 to 2, I'm just up.
Oh.
And then I go back to sleep.
Like 10 to 2.
2 a.m.
When you say 8 to 7, are you
No,
like
that's
8 in the morning?
8 p.m.
8
to
p.m.
7 a.m.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Dang.
But yeah. But get a plus, and then you can cheat. And you can use your phone. That's really... I'm just truly so addicted to my cell phone that it's like I start it, and then I can doom scroll for the next hour and a half or whatever it is.
You know who else tried to cheat?
The Kablorbians, whatever the Morphe guys.
Yeah, the Kablorbians, dude.
Whatever
yeah,
they're called.
Kablorbians.
I was serious. I was like, how can we transition?
Yeah, because I was like,
Who
they
was
tried
cheating?
to take his spot on
Zorg. Is that his
I
name
guess he
from
was.
Gary Oldman? Like
Gary
he
Oldman's
tried
character
to
is
stop
Zorg.
basically the transit of the 5th element to Earth.
Yeah.
But they were able to.
Mm-hmm.
What an interesting movie.
Yeah.
What an interesting movie, which we haven't actually even said the title of the movie.
So, yeah, I was
Now that
gonna say,
about
I
it,
was like, Dave, we didn't even say the 5th element, but
Yeah.
you clicked on this.
Spoilers.
You saw the
Fifth Element.
thumbnail.
Yes.
You saw the title.
Uh-huh.
You knew we were discussing the Fifth Element. Hopefully,
Saw a
you
little
clicked
clip
on it
at the
because you're
Pokemon
like,
Sleep.
I liked it too.
I would say Pokemon Sleep in the thumbnail. Like,
I mean, might as well. What were we at?
20 minutes. Yeah.
Not too bad.
No.
It was
So
only
yeah,
like 8 minutes.
today's episode is revolving around the Fifth Element. Luc Besson's, I don't think it's his directorial debut, but didn't he do
He's done a lot of films. There's I think La Film Nikita came out before that.
Yeah, so
Leon the Professional.
Leon the Professional before that.
Yeah.
So, movie came out May of 1997. Had a budget of 90 million, which you can definitely tell it had a budget of 90 million in 1997.
Yeah.
Worldwide box office of almost 264 million. Crazy international box office. It only had 64 million domestic. It was 200 million international.
Dang.
I guess domestically we did not like this movie as much as they did internationally.
Which is funny because I loved this movie as a kid. So there's nostalgia there.
I was gonna say not everybody agrees with you because
Oh no, not at all.
72% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes versus an 87% audience score. First time that has flipped since we started tracking RT on this, and it also has some. And maybe this is part of the reason why its domestic was as bad as it was. I shouldn't say bad because 64 million isn't bad. Granted, it was up against 90 million, so if it only had its domestic, it would have flopped. It went up against Romy and Michelle's high school reunion, Austin Powers,
Wow, the first Austin Powers?
International Man of Mystery, Volcano, and The Lost World Jurassic Park.
Volcano. Oh my god, dude. That scene where that dude melted at the end towards the end of that movie lives rent free in my head. Not in a good way.
So,
Really terrified me of volcanoes, which living in the Midwest is like,
You're like,
you don't ever. have
well,
to
you
worry
say you
about
don't
that.
ever have to worry about it until the big one happens. So, even though that we probably wouldn't have to deal with like the lava part of it, we just more like
Just
deal
like
with
like
it would turn
ash,
it would turn into like the last episode of Dinosaurs. I can see like based off of the movies they had to go against why domestic may not have been as strong as international was, even though these probably all released internationally as well. I think it being directed by Luc Besson probably had a bit more to do with a stronger international box office. I'm going to say out front, I watched a remastered version of this movie. I don't know if you guys did. And I think it was a remastered version that someone remastered and should not have because it was in 1080p and it looked like it was 60 frames per second. So there's a lot of frame generating and smoothing that really distracted me while I was watching it, especially like at the beginning of the movie. And anytime that like the more special effecty parts were happening,
it made
really
it exacerbated the
like really annoying.
okay.
Was this on the seas or was this?
This was on the these. It was on something.
Gotcha.
Something that allows you to circumnavigate some commercials. There.
Yeah,
Is that what you're-
yes, yep.
No Tubi for you.
No Tubi for me.
Well.
But no, that makes sense because I was like, I don't know, like who would have remastered this? Like that's such an odd choice.
I feel like Fifth Element kind of has a cult following
That's
to it.
true.
Really, I think Luc Besson films in general, because of films like Leon the Professional. Which have you ever seen Leon the Professional? It's
that's
like
a
one of
good
Natalie
movie.
Portman's like first movies. She was
Oh.
like 12 or something like that. Yeah, it's really good.
It's a good
Okay.
movie. We'll be doing it eventually.
Yeah,
So you already know
definitely
what we
should.
think about it, guys, when you get to it.
and it does bring back the partnership with Gary Oldman. So Gary
Oh.
Oldman was in Leon the Professional. He
Okay.
plays the villain in that film as well. I love Gary Oldman just as a.
A
I feel
Gary
like he's one of
Youngman.
those like people don't talk about Gary Oldman enough. I feel like Gary
Just
Oldman
because he's like this, like he's a like. So in the wrestling world, he'd be called a really good hand, which is someone who's they're extremely technically talented and always able to work with anybody whenever, but not have the so strong star power that they become like just permanent main eventers. And I think that it describes Gary Oldman like perfectly. Gary Oldman is perfect in every role that he is always in, but he's always used as like a foil or like a side piece to the person that they want to be the main attraction of the movie that you're watching. And he comes close in this movie to trying to steal the attention away. The problem is just that the movie also has Chris Tucker and Bruce Willis in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very hard for him. But he plays a perfect role here as the villain, Jean-Baptiste something Zorg. One thing, though, I kind of think now knowing that Gary Oldman is British, not like right now, not like between 97 and 2025, I learned that he is British. I didn't know that back in 1997. His accent slips multiple times, but not into British.
Really?
It's like he forgets sometimes that he's trying to do this like extremely like Tennessee Southern and sometimes because I think sometimes it slips between being just like a Southern accent and a Southern dandy, and it happens kind of towards the end when he starts to get more flustered and upset. And maybe Gary Oldman is fucking like a genius, so maybe he was intentionally doing that.
Yeah,
and maybe like Zorg isn't really actually Southern, and he's just been putting that on as an affront, so he was losing it towards the end. It just felt like I was like, did he remember that he was doing a Southern accent? Because it's just like he just kind of lost the accent, and then he like picked it back up, and I was like, oh, okay.
You saying that just made me think about something like in the time that this movie takes place, like, would there even be technically accents anymore? I guess at least naturally developed accents.
That's actually the very first thing I thought, because his last name, you would think he would have like a traditionally Southern last name. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that would entail. Zorg is not a traditionally Southern last name. You can tell that, right?
Dude, it is. So, come on,
like, man. I'm trying to think, like, because everyone...
Ulysses S. Zorg?
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows Ulysses S. Zorg. But it is kind of crazy that he has that, but then I think about the fact that, like, Corbin's mother has her like Jersey accent, and Bruce quite obviously tries to put on a New York, like, Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
So
his John McClane. Like, yeah.
So, like, I guess accents still exist all these hundreds of years into the future.
I guess it makes me wonder, like, is it more artificially adapted? You know, in a world like that, because it's their vision of what the future is so wild, just crazy. From the outfits to the design of the buildings to, like, logistically,
like the landscape of New York.
Yeah, dude, you have trains that are embedded on the side of buildings. Like, what? So it just makes me wonder if
about that.
Oh, about what?
I like watching this movie again made me realize how much I like cyberpunk aesthetic. Because that is 100% what this movie like steeps itself in, and it's always interesting going back and seeing someone look at the future, try to predict while also using an aesthetic that was cultivated during their time. Because cyberpunk itself is at the time that this movie comes out, it's relatively young. I think cyberpunk itself as an aesthetic was created in the 80s and moved till today.
Yeah.
And so there are things that you see in it, like for instance, they're so close to the concept of screens without realizing how close they are to the concept of screens.
Yeah.
So they instead just constantly have like everyone using like transparent, like plastic paper, and they didn't know just like not even a full 20 years later that just 10 years later that screens would become the thing that they were looking for. Or like they knew about flying cars but didn't know that drones would be that placement. Or like the concept of how do we deal with, like, it's New York, so New York has to have subways, but we're not on the ground anymore, so they moved the subways to being like on buildings. But then you kind of have to wonder the logistics of that juxtaposed to the flying cars, and you think like, well, was it on a station? Where was it going? It was going like up and down, and there's just so many, even like the guns all have like like I think weapons, when it comes to people thinking of the future, I think for some reason they know how to like think far outside of the box, because so often when it comes to like retrofuturism, brutalism to some degree, cyberpunk, even things like steampunk and dieselpunk, where someone thinks like, what could the future be like? And like you saw like back in like the 50s with retrofuturism, where they would think like, oh, you would have to have like 20 TV screens against the wall to simulate like what we would just use as one giant screen and a projector for today, because they could only think that like our TVs are only like 13 inches tops. You get a 18-inch, that's a big boy.
Yeah.
So like we can't think to just continuously make it bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So you got to use a whole bunch of little mini ones to simulate the bigger one.
Yeah.
And things like that just like really made me go like, you had an idea. And for this movie, I think so many times they were close and they just didn't realize it just yet.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. Like, to your point about the weapons, I wonder if also part of it has anything to do with like the practicality of it. Like, ultimately, it's a film, so they don't have to be practical. They don't have to work fully, because I'm trying to remember if this was Mythbusters or not. But the gun that Jean-Baptiste is demonstrating to that alien race, I guess actually was just like an AK-47 that they molded pieces around it
Oh, that's cool.
to like make it look like some kind of futuristic weapon, or even the weapon that in the very beginning of the movie, when I'm assuming he was an addict, attempts to rob Corbin.
He
And he
reminded
has
me
the- it
so
was so
much
weird.
of that, the dude from Don't Be a Menace. I got these
Yeah.
cheeseburgers, man.
The dude was tweaking hard, man. And it was so 90s. It was so 90s, because even to the point where, what is he, like, Corbin compliments the hat that I guess he was using as, like, the screen to put up
Yeah.
against the peephole.
Mhm.
He's like, thank you! And he just starts tweaking, and then he starts dancing, and then that music comes out of nowhere, like, burp, 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 like, that weird sort of, like, Bulk and Skull. Like, what is this?
Yeah, that was, I was like, oh, yep, okay. That's a product of its time.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, like, getting out of bed and your mattress, like, being sucked away to be cleaned or something. and
Right,
then
or
being
like a
replaced
new,
by-
new mattress.
Like, what?
Saran wrap.
That is just... Although, the apartment that's as big as a broom closet in New York is pretty
I mean,
accurate.
that's like today. Yeah.
Yeah, probably actually the apartment he had was like twice as big as some
All
of
the
New
open
York
space.
apartments. Yeah.
Also, this is maybe jumping ahead, but when they were in the the fridge, like I know I've seen it before, and like I've seen that it like but I'm just like, these people should be dead. Like, they're completely frozen. Like, I understand that it's the future, but also, did they get? I think this was a Mora question. Like, did they get into that fridge knowing that would happen, or did they just like?
I would assume, I mean, they were trying to get out.
Right.
But,
That's fair.
I mean, 3 of them should have easily been able to overpower him. I guess they just thought that they would be, and really they should have been.
Yeah.
They weren't there
They
that
did
long.
not give yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh man, that would have sucked though. Because doesn't the refrigerator close and then it goes into the floor?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then the shower goes up or something like that.
Yeah, dude. Like, this is all very interesting. And speaking of the technology, and I don't know why this came to my mind. Clearly, there's something wrong with me. But when they find the DNA that's left over from the Fifth Element, and scientists are talking about, it has like 200,000 mammograms, and that's more than enough for us to be able to like replicate or basically clone this person. And then the machine starts like mammograms.
Yeah, I was like, breast
I was like, is
scans?
that what they called those?
What did he call them? Like, it was mamma. I thought it was like
It
mamma
was,
something.
yeah,
like,
it wasn't like, it was a sciencey word. I don't know if
it
it
was
was
a very
science, but
sciencey word. But the machine starts to like put her together, and I don't know. Like, and I've never seen somebody at Donato's like make a pepperoni pizza, but it reminded me of what I would think making a Donato's pepperoni pizza would be like, because it was just like
layers.
stacking the like layers.
You think they 3D print the pizza?
Well, I mean, it's just like stacking all these layers and creating her skull, and then it just like does it over and over again. And I was like, I could imagine somebody at Donato's.
also it was from a hand, right? Like, that's how they started.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was her robot
Like
hand.
whatever, which I don't know.
I think
It's
she
like-
was wearing armor.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Because when she like pulls her hand back, it comes out of that.
Oh, ow.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
realize
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Would not have been my first thought to jump through a wall to get like away from a bunch of military folks.
Also,
but
they cloned her in like 2 minutes.
Truly.
yeah, dude, that's
Yeah.
insane.
I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Then I realized how like I thought some passage of time had happened. It was like, nope. They had a conversation.
Yeah.
And like, oh, it's done. Okay, let's look at her.
Then that creepy dude, like, oh, we need to take photos. Oh,
Yeah.
for the record. It's like, you
And it's
weirdo.
like Mila Jovovich is a beautiful woman.
Yes.
They treated her like she was the finest woman that had ever existed in 1997.
She was perfect. Remember, Dan?
I was,
5'9", blue eyes.
I was like, okay, guys, all right, we get it. We get it.
She does a lot of nude scenes, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking of Resident Evil
Yeah.
movies. Like, why is she always...
She was in the werewolf in the vampire one too, or am I thinking of someone
Werewolf
else?
and the Vampire. Are you talking about Van
Underworld?
Helsing?
No,
No,
Underworld?
Kate Beckinsale, I think
That's-
is
oh,
her.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But, yeah.
It's crazy that she just jumped through that wall. She had no clue
Yeah.
what was going to be on
Exactly,
the other side.
dude. That's why I'm like, dang. And she just like slipped through it like a little hamster.
Also, the size of those ducts were crazy. Like, what did we just expand? Like, we needed more AC or
yeah.
HVAC? Like,
Yeah, probably
You
because I
could
mean
ride a
everything
tricycle
is
through that.
enclosed at that point.
Yeah,
No one's
I
really
guess.
like just outside in like the atmosphere.
right.
So you probably needed to be able to like really filter the air through.
That's true. Because they went down into the fog or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
closer to the ground. So that's makes sense.
And also like how like it was the future, but the cops were all still just like normal cops,
Yeah.
normal dudes, and they're just like, "Do we really got to chase you, chick?
Yeah.
You can't just like come here.
Get
real
out of the
quick."
car.
Flirting with like
Open.
McDonald's employees and...
Yeah, that was such a bizarre. Also, Mac and Me esque like McDonald's injection.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Product
straight-
I
placement.
think it's
That's-
that
yeah,
weird,
yeah.
that weird mid '90s. What is that like? That Demolition Man,
Oh,
Double
my
Dragon.
God.
What is this like? Just
Yeah.
restaurant placement without maybe even knowing if they have like a deal or not. Like,
Yeah.
just- McDonald's is now the thing. Also, that McDonald's, they were in a drive-through. Why did they get a tray?
Yeah, I don't know. Because he hooked it to like the side of the vehicle like a Sonic setup.
But they were gonna have to drive away.
Yeah.
Because they were in a-
Yeah.
Just bring it back, please.
Also, the clothing. Like the police uniforms. So much of it seemed so clunky.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well, it
those
was like
police
a
uniforms were...
step away from Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Dude, it was... Because... I think a couple steps... Because it was so thick. Like, everything was... It kind of also reminded me of whatever the alien race was that they're introduced at the very beginning. Who
Mhm.
essentially acts as like the conduit between like earthly powers and the fifth element or whatever. We're like just giant metal turkeys that walk like penguins.
I love that a plot point in that was that they're so clunky and hard to get away.
Yeah.
That, like the door closing. was
Yeah.
You have time.
Yeah,
Hurry. You have
it's like,
time.
no, he doesn't.
My arm makes it. Here's
Time
the key.
doesn't matter, only life. I'm like, dude, why are you hyping him up, man? That he's not, dude. He is a 5-minute, 100-meter dash turkey man. He can't make it to that door.
I just felt so bad for it. It's just like you got shot and now you can't just
Yeah,
like get
truly.
out.
Yeah.
Just trapped. That's trapped. So with this film, I remember this film terrified me as a kid because it included a couple things that were like, I think, big fears of mine at that age. One of those were basically like cataclysmic events of which we have no power to mitigate
fair enough.
at all. So movies, I remember, what is the film called? I don't want to close my Armageddon.
Armageddon. Yeah.
Have to sing a theme song for a movie before I can. Also terrified me because it's basically like it makes me feel powerless.
Sure.
Because what am I going to do about a giant ball of fire that literally just gets bigger as you try harder to destroy it, coming and hitting Earth? So it reminded me of like, an asteroid just coming into like hitting us, or also just like nuclear warfare and playing into that. Like there is no power. There's nothing that we can exercise control over in that sense. There's just some old ass man who has a button to press who's going to be locked away in a room in a bunker somewhere totally fine and safe, and it's all of us who just get eviscerated. I just remember as a kid that was always just like, oh my god, like everyone I know is going to die. I can't do anything about this. From just like commercials that I would see late at night when I probably should have been asleep at that point. But it was definitely one of those points where I just remember as a kid being so utterly terrified of it. Especially early on in the film when they first introduce it. And something I don't think I ever really realized is that for whatever reason, that ball of fire is sentient.
I didn't realize. As a kid, I didn't realize that either. And I was watching, I was like, oh, the ball of fire is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because they don't really make that point out.
Yeah.
Until like the end of the movie that the ball of fire is also the bad guy.
Apparently had like talked to at least Zorg before.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like, oh, Mr. Shadow. It's like, what? How does that work?
Because there was a scene where right before the military just tries to destroy it and they fail, and before they die, they start to bleed from the skull, right? Like you see the blood start to seep down from the cracks. And the same thing happened to Jean-Baptiste when he's on the phone with them. And I'm like, dude, this ball of fire just called him on the cell phone? Like,
and they picked it up.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, is it talking to somebody?
Dude's got like a social security number and everything, dude. I thought you were an asteroid. Like,
we
right.
rerouted his tax cut.
Dude, like,
also, was he going to pay Jean-Baptiste?
Yeah,
like what was he? Yeah, like what did he?
Like, does he also have money on him?
That's something I've always wondered about, like villains in that sense that are like, I want to take over the world, destroy the world. It's like, where do you factor in this whole plan? Like,
What happens after you do that?
Yeah.
Well, usually they themselves also plan on dying in the fire. Like, they want to see the world burn. It's not, I want to like rule it afterwards because there's nothing to rule.
Some of them also want to rebuild, but this seemed like it was a situation where there would be nothing to rebuild because it would have eviscerated.
Well, you need like a following to rebuild. He was by himself. He would have just like wiped it out and then been like, all right, on to the next thing. It's really interesting. I want to make 2 points. One about your like fear of like just end days.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know this, in the 90s, there were like at least 5, if not more, like end of days, like cults that were out and about that all thought like between like 93 and like 98 was we were going to just die.
I mean, Y2K too, right?
And then Y2K picked up like right after that. So that fear, I don't want to say it was, I mean, it was, you were a child, but it was justified because there were a lot of messages that thought that, especially like coming out of like the 80s where like 3 Mile Island and things had happened like that. And then Chernobyl right after. But the other point I was going to make was about the just the ball of fire itself. And how it seems to be, I don't know if you ever played Destiny, the game. It almost is like the darkness, which is like the main enemy in the game itself. The game Destiny is, as a story, is almost 10 years old at this point. We still don't truly know what the darkness is. But this concept of like the darkness coming in at a time where we're technologically advanced and wanting to like just destroy everything. Like, it was almost exactly like the Fifth Element. The difference is that in the Fifth Element, there's the Fifth Element itself, which would stop it. Whereas in Destiny, like, there's a being called the Traveler that's supposed to like stop it. But in reality, they're like equal forces. That was all I was going to say.
Do you, when it comes to things like, because of course Fifth Element is not the first and only movie to ever do that, and it won't be like, and plenty of movies will do it in the future. But how do you guys feel when they just kind of make this, I don't want to say cookie cutter, but it's a villain that really doesn't have anything to it. It's like, it's just like a more of a concept than anything.
Yeah.
Like, how do you guys feel about that? Like, do you prefer your villains to not just be a concept, I guess? Like, is there anything, and if it is there anything that a film could do to try to, like, I guess, make up for the fact that it was kind of, like, lackadaisical with its...
Well, I think in this movie it did, and that's where Zorg came in.
Yeah, I just mean, like, in general, sorry, I'm not, like, even beyond this movie.
But no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like, I think by having a secondary representation, you would be able to get around
yeah.
that concept. And so often, I think, like, movie scholars will say that, like, a villain within a movie is just a representation of evil itself and not the actual evil. And it'll be something like, oh, that dude was like a representation of the devil's henchman or something, like devil's right hand or something like that. And so I think we often do see the concept of an evil thing in its like abstract form, and it's represented by someone that is not abstract. But when they just kind of give you just like a something that has to be overcome without it having motivation, I don't have a problem with it if it's overcome. I guess, like, to pertain to Armageddon. Like, I mean, it's just an asteroid.
Yeah.
there was no, like, evil man that hurled the asteroid towards Earth. Just the forces of gravity took that place. So, like, everyone just basically had to deal with an antagonist that wasn't antagonizing. It just was a force. But so that meant like the story had to revolve around all the protagonists and what they were going to have to be able to do to solve the problem. And I think when you can do that well, yeah.
Okay. That's a good point.
Yeah, I would say kind of something similar, because I was trying to go through the very patchy Rolodex in my brain of like when that was done well, or like an example that I know of. But I think it really just depends on the story. Like, it's really like, how well is the writing? Like, can they really, carry the weight of this, I guess, quote unquote villain, or, the apocalypse or whatever this thing is?
Yeah. Can
they carry that through like the film and have it, stick the landing, that sort of thing? So I don't think I don't need, some human representation or, like some creature to be the destruction, just as long as, it's well written, I guess.
Yeah, and like it makes sense, or within the confines, I guess, of the film.
Sure. Yeah, 100%. But I guess this is maybe a pivot, because we had talked about the weapons earlier. The scene where Zorg was like selling the weapons to the raiders that had picked up the box, was that very like Justin Hammer Iron Man 2 for you guys? Do you think that was like the inspiration for at least the Justin Hammer? Because it was just like, it was like the same mannerisms, same and this is the final one, like icicle beam.
Sam Rockwell probably did look at
Gary Oldman. No, that's a good call. That's a good call. Yeah,
I was like, that's the same scene. Like, it just 20 years earlier or something like that.
That gun was crazy.
Yeah,
it was all the guns in one gun.
Yeah, true. Flamethrower.
They like have the gun later, and they don't even do nearly what they could have. Even he has the gun later on and doesn't do half of the things that he could do. But him putting the bomb on the guns, knowing that they might like flip on him, was
pretty smart.
Yeah,
so diabolical.
Yeah,
there's something I can't help but I'm sorry, I was thinking about how you said that somewhere between 1997 and 2025 I found out that Gary Oldman was British, but also somewhere in between that time I found out that Chris Tucker was not the first choice to play Ruby Rhod.
Oh really?
That apparently was Prince.
Yeah,
that fits.
Which makes perfect sense, but I don't think Prince would have. I mean, you can tell he was supposed to be Prince.
Yeah,
but I don't think Prince would have worked unless the whole reason that Ruby was changed, like Ruby acted the way he was because Chris played him. Because it definitely felt like Chris Tucker playing Chris Tucker in this movie, as opposed to like 100% being just like a character. And I was like, Chris Tucker is Chris Tucker and all over this movie, and he threatens to like pull it off the rails, especially because like Bruce Willis was being so deadpan in like a number of the scenes when he was with him. But Prince, I don't think would have, because like Prince never felt to me like a person who would really act like exuberantly. Like he's always very middle of the road.
Yes,
keeps it kind of tight.
Yeah, and like a Ruby doing that would have been like, no.
Yeah, with Prince seems like the type of person where it doesn't matter, or like I should say in the past tense because R.I.P. But it doesn't. Almost as if everything is just like everything in every event is just an everyday thing. Like he's already experienced everything. Like Godzilla could erupt from like the sea, and he would just be walking down the street like, oh, you again. And he would just keep on going and like go to the grocery store, get some Sprite, and he would go home. And he'd be like, dude, that's Godzilla. But like he just wouldn't, because everything is beyond, like he's beyond everything. He's above emotion.
Yeah, I couldn't have, because I could see where like they were going for like an effeminate man who was still very much a ladies' man, and who like women just adored. Yeah, and it's like the first thing you think of is like, oh, that's clearly Prince. But putting Prince in that role himself, I don't think it would at all.
Yeah, I don't know how much. So even when it comes to giving this our Panharmonicon score, how much like nostalgia will play into it, because it is just one of those movies that for me, like as a kid, like despite the fear, I just so much enjoyed the movie, and I can never really put my finger quite on it. And maybe it's just one of those movies that's just like so absurd that I can't help but enjoy it, like the absurdity of it. But Chris Tucker is one of those key marks in the film for me that I just think is so entertaining, because it's so ridiculous from the way he talks, the speed of his speech, everything, like his like what he wears, how he stutters. Because you're right, like when he's juxtaposed against Bruce Willis in a lot of scenes, and Bruce is so deadpan, and he's just so, it's almost kind of like he exudes some of the emotion that you might expect Corbin Dallas to have. Like he just takes on everybody's emotion, and he just is the one who is the
mouthpiece.
The mouthpiece for all of it, dude. Corbin is it? But no, if it was a bomb, like everything.
Because it's crazy that you said at the beginning that somebody didn't like that he was in the movie, because like he was a highlight.
Yeah, me. Dude. Yeah. It was I forget which, the Golden Raspberry, I guess. One of the awards nominations, so Mila Jovovich. So it had some noms for like positive side of things. I think it like Oscar nom for like special effects and whatnot.
But I guess like I wonder when did that happen? Was it in '97 that
they started to introduce like that as a category that you can? I have no idea,
because I'm wondering if they looked at it, because maybe I'm looking at it as, I understand, like, because Chris Tucker doesn't really do roles. He's Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
And he's always like an abrasive, like, it's not that he himself is abrasive, it's like the voice, the mannerisms, everything are very abrasive. And whether it's Friday, Money Talks, Rush Hour, The Fifth Element, they're all the same Chris Tucker, and he's a very, hey man, and you just like, I could see if that's the very first time you experienced that, and you were kind of like, I'm in this for a Bruce Willis action movie, and you just gave me this. Yeah. But decades later, to me, like, it's Chris Tucker. That's how he is. And to me, rather than being abrasive within the movie, he fit perfectly into just like the crazy, colorful, over the topness that the movie is.
Yeah.
If anything, the person that almost feels out of place is Bruce Willis.
For sure.
Yes.
Because this whole world is going around him, and he's just like in it.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Perfectly put, man. It is.
Because it's I don't want to say jarring, but like you, like kind of the scene you were talking about earlier, just like when he was talking to the guy, it's just like, why are you talking about this woman? Like he's like, oh, I had the best fare come in. It's just like, what? And he's just like, oh, she's asleep, let me kiss her. It's like, what the what
are you doing? That's
like him like laying on the bed.
Yeah.
Like, yeah man.
She dropped into my car. Oh, you tell me about her. 5'9", blue eyes.
I was like, he's reminiscing like a 13-year-old talking to his best friend after school.
What is happening?
Also, like, why was that such a big part of? Because I think it's something that's said very early on in the movie when he's on the phone with, and I don't know if this was the guy that owns the cab or the company that he drives for, but it's like, I don't want 1 million women, I just want one. It was like this thing, this drive, this directive that he had that is kind of what pushed him through a lot of stuff. Like,
it did, because the script needed him to
care
about Lilu. Like, their romance is forced.
Yes,
and it's one of the few things that I'm like, that was not a good direction to take, because his initial taking to her is more like just protecting her, but then like very quickly it turns into, I should probably kiss her, and you're like, you not said anything before this attempt at kissing her that you were attracted to her in any way. Now all of a sudden you're trying to kiss her. She fell through your metal car roof just like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. Big bada bing, boom bada bing. And literally she passes out, right? Like in the car, and then he takes her to Vito. Right?
After she says, please help me.
Yeah.
Like, she says, please help a bunch. And then they finally get away, and then she, like, passes out.
Yeah, but I think it was, like, right after, which is another thing that I had an issue with, because it made me realize how many times movies do this, and what it did to my brain for what I thought a situation would be like. And what I'm referring to is, when they're in the flying car, and he's trying to get away, I think they think that they got away from them. They got away from the cops, right? And now the cops have these twisted metal-like cars with the machine guns on the side. And they pass a building, and the cops just start firing. How are you not dead? How are you not dead, dude?
Withstood the bullets.
But you see all the bullets going through, knocking down signs inside of the car. It's tearing through the seats.
Yeah.
But they are fine.
Yeah.
That's because they ducked.
They ducked and they twisted the car slightly.
I mean, this is like every bullet was going through it like it was Swiss cheese, man. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like...
Also, I don't... And this is a thing that I also don't understand about flying cars. When he started to see that the cops were there, he didn't go up or down. There were only 2 rows of cops.
Yeah.
He just drove down or like
maneuvered in hides away by going lower, though, right?
Goes into the smog.
But like during most of the chase, he's not veering up and down.
Using the Z plane very much.
Like, it was just like, that was weird. But I did have one question before we get to the Panharmonicons segment. Anybody, did Father Vito come off as Obi-Wan Kenobi-ish?
In his garb? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like old Ben Kenobi?
Yep.
I was like, that's weird. I didn't realize he was kind of like a clone of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I guess when you think about it, and this is kind of weird to think, but when did Last Jedi come out? Was it 83?
The Return of the Jedi was 83.
Last Jedi. Wow. Yeah, sorry. Return of the Jedi.
2015, I think.
The other one, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, I wonder if that is just, like, lingering inspiration from Star Wars or something like that. I mean, you're talking about another property where they're, like, traversing the stars, or, you know, interstellar travel and all that good stuff. But, I mean, this movie would have come out in 97, which means that it would have only been, like, 14 years removed from Return of the Jedi, which is kind of crazy to think, because... And now we're 42 years removed from Return of the Jedi, but like ultimately movies that we think about now, even with we just did Chronicle the last episode, is 13 years ago, approximately the same time that would have been between Return of the Jedi and Fifth Element, and now when you watch Chronicle, it's just kind of like, ooh, time's a moving, guys. Yeah. Time is moving.
It's always going forward. And we're always going forward with this little segment we like to call...
What are we going to call it?
How many? I thought you was just going into the jingle.
I was about to. Then I started, I guess we can call it, how many Panharmonicons will it get? How many Panharmonicons will it get? How many Panharmonicons will it get? Spit.
There you go. So, I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 Panharmonicons.
Oh!
Really enjoyed this movie after having not seen it for a while. To continue the Star Wars analogy, which is why I jumped back into this so quickly. I actually wrote in my notes that considering its placement, like when it happened, essentially, along with, I think at that time, by 1997, we knew that George had planned on doing Episode 1. But I'm assuming, obviously, Luke Besson didn't start this movie in 1997. So
right.
I kind of feel that this could have been a replacement for Star Wars. The world building was there. The effects were there. The story was there. I think the only thing missing would have been like a continuation, like a need to continue. But I think this definitely could have been the new Star Wars of the 90s, considering how long of a dip there were between the two sets of movies and the fact that nobody was quite sure if he planned on actually continuing doing the movies, because after 83, he started doing more Indiana Jones and stuff like that. And then throughout the 90s, the only things we saw were extended universe comics and books and the I'm gonna forget the name of it, but the little multimedia saga they had that was everything but a movie, where a video game, a comic book, and a book were all released at the exact same time, all detailing the same story in between episodes 4 and 5, but no movie was attached to it. So we kind of thought at the time George might be done, until around like 96, 97, when he was like, yeah, I plan on continuing the story. We're going to be doing episode 1. I was like, oh, okay.
I need to watch an interview with him to see if he sounds like that. I just confirm.
Kermit the Frog.
But yeah, I definitely thought this could have been the 90s Star Wars series. Everybody played the role great. I really enjoyed Bruce Willis in this one. I said that Bruce Willis has a really good shooting people face. Like whenever he like kind of like has a gun,
yeah,
like whether it's in like Die Hard, he looks like he's someone who like knows how to wield the gun and is like, okay, don't make me have to do this, but he does it anyway. Chris Tucker, enjoyed Chris Tucker in this. However, I've felt about Mila Jovovich in the time since this movie came out and her run of Resident Evil movies. She was not bad here as Leela Dallas. She wasn't meant to be someone who was constantly in the front. That was definitely meant for Bruce. I don't know if they tried to create a language for her or if she was just told to do gibberish, but the way she talked felt very fluid, even if she herself may not have known what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that she kind of evolves throughout the movie, even though she doesn't super change, is well. The only thing I didn't enjoy was the forced romance that kind of came out of nowhere, as well as kind of just like a what the heck happened to those alien dudes? Like they like the alien dudes show up at the beginning of the movie, and then we see them in the future. I think it's the same 2 dudes who got away the first time. Then they get tracked and blown up. You're like, were there only 3 of these alien guys that existed in this entire?
You talking about the metal turkeys?
Yeah,
yeah, turning turkey.
And at the very beginning was kind of just like with Luke Perry and stuff was very like, oh, okay. But no, I really did enjoy this. The randomness of like who was in what role. Like I would have never put Debo as the president.
Oh my gosh, never.
but
it's awesome.
But it works.
Like it's such a stark contrast to Friday.
Yes.
That it makes me wonder if Luke Besson watched Friday and it was like, he has to play the president in my movie. Because who would have guessed?
He was just like, yep. Let me get a tiny lister in here and just see what happens. Really enjoyed it. 4 out of 5 for me.
Ooh, so I may be the dissenter here today. I think it's about 2.5 for me. I think that's just kind of right in the middle.
Yeah.
I only really remember watching this movie on FX, so that probably skewed how I thought about this movie. Also,
those commercial breaks.
Yeah.
and
then everything getting cut.
Yeah.
And then also in my brain just thought it was The Sixth Sense. So I'm like, how is this man going to be dead at the end of this movie? Totally different one. Sorry, spoilers for The Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Element.
And then it was just like, there's so many stereotypes that I just couldn't get past, I guess. Like, it's just like let me just kiss this woman just because it's like,
Yeah.
And then the Chinese man, I think maybe Chinese man, just like the guy that was selling food just at his, at his window was just like so stereotypically Asian, like his boat was. Or I guess his car was a boat, and I was like, what are we doing here? But no, other than that, I think it was good, There we go.
I would give it 4 out of 5 as well. And I will admit that I do think that nostalgia plays a factor in that because of, it's very hard for me to disconnect from, I don't know, this movie has a very special place in my heart for that.
Yeah.
But also, the thing is I think it would be worse if the movie tried to take itself too seriously, but fair. It doesn't. And the fact that it is so playful, I think is what kind of brings it to that 4 for me, because it is a very fun adventure film. And again, I think that if it was something that tried to be, what would be like a serious action film comparable to the time, I guess, like with the sort of emotional integrity of like Volcano, since you mentioned that it came out around the same time, it wouldn't work. Like if you're taking yourself too seriously, and there's guns with like 2 clips on the side and spikes rounding it. It looks like a Super Mario weapon. But yeah, I think everyone played their parts well. I love Chris Tucker's Ruby Rod. I love Bruce Willis, which was one of the things that was like so hard to watch what's happening with him right now, dude. Because he's like one of my heroes, dude. Like straight up, and it sucked. That part, yeah. But yeah, I love the movie, and I leave it at a 4.
Right on.
There you have it, folks. And you heard what we thought. Let us know what you think in the comments. Both Instagram, both YouTube and Spotify.
Sure.
Let us know what you guys thought. Sound off in those comments. I don't think that picked up, but
a little bit.
I was hoping it didn't.
Okay.
I don't know why I even did it.
I guess that was the sound of sounding off. YouTube peeps, if you can give us a like if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Let us know what you thought in the comments. Subscribe if you have not. If you want to see more of us, subscribe. And if you are subscribed and you want to see more of us, hit that notification bell, because it's going to let you know when we're putting stuff out when you aren't normally getting it. So you're like, oh, we know you guys put out stuff on Mondays. I'll wait for Mondays. I might drop something on Saturday. I might drop something on Wednesday. You don't know. I don't even know until it happens. So how you gonna know?
Tell them.
We're unorganized.
I'm extremely unorganized on my creativity. But hit that notification bell. My Spotify guys, spots up. Put that rating in. If it was good for you, 5. If you're like, man, you guys could have done better, 1. In fact, I just want 1s or 5s. Don't get no 3s. Don't get no 3s.
Interesting.
Let us know if you liked it or you didn't like it.
All right.
But if you're going to put a 1, tell me why you put a 1.
Yeah.
And if you put a 5, tell me why you put a 5. If you're like, man, you guys can't do better.
What if they put a 2, 3, or 4? Do you...
Galen.
That's what I was going to ask. Honest to goodness, I was going to ask, is that your plan?
They're dead.
I was going to like... Well, they would receive a call.
Whoa.
And I would say, I forget that I was going to do what Gary Oldman does in the movie when he's talking to the dude, and then something around him explodes. I don't know what explodes. Yeah. Just something around him just explodes and he dies. But I wouldn't do that to you guys. If you put a 2, 3, or a 4, just let me know. And I'll make sure I'll get it up to a 5. And I want to thank you guys for listening to us ramble about The Fifth Element and all the other movies that we've rambled about, because this is episode 26 of us rambling. Whoa. We are some yappers. We're yappers to the extreme, and we like yapping for you. Yap back to us.
Yes.
This has been Damon.
This is Farron.
And this is Andrew.
And we want to thank you guys for listening to episode 26 of Panharmonicon Studios Presents
a podcast.
Thank you guys for listening.
Catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Pop it, D-Man!
Hi.
Unbelievable!